Welcome, everyone. You're listening to our English podcast, where learning becomes an interactive and engaging experience. Here you will encounter fresh words, expand your perspective, and sharpen your skills. Like any challenge, language learning demands discipline and determination, but it also brings rewarding results. So, without delay, let's continue directly into the story waiting for you.
The Secret of the Clockmaker. Leo lived in a noisy city where everyone was always in a hurry. He worked as a manager in a large company. His life was a fast race from morning until late at night. He drank too much coffee and slept very little. He believed that resting was a waste of time. He always checked his phone for new messages. One day, his favorite watch suddenly stopped working. It was a special gift from his grandfather. Leo felt very upset and needed to fix it immediately. He searched the streets and found a small, dusty shop at the corner. The wooden sign said it was a traditional clock repair store. He pushed the heavy door and walked inside quickly. The shop was quiet and smelled of old wood and oil. Hundreds of clocks covered the walls and filled the shelves. They were ticking softly in perfect harmony. An old man with silver hair sat behind a wooden desk. He wore thick glasses and held a tiny tool in his hand. He did not look up when Leo entered. Leo coughed loudly to get attention from the old man. He put the broken watch on the desk and demanded a fast repair. He explained that he was a very busy person. The clockmaker slowly put down his tool and took the watch. He examined it carefully for a long time without saying a single word to Leo. Finally, the old man looked up and smiled gently. He told Leo that the watch was a beautiful machine. However, he said it would take exactly 1 month to fix it completely. Leo was shocked and angry at this long delay. He asked why a simple repair required so much time. He offered to pay double for faster work. The clockmaker refused the extra money with a calm voice. He explained that some things cannot be rushed by money. The watch needed a new part that he had to make by hand. He had to shape the metal perfectly to match the old mechanism. Leo sighed loudly, but agreed to leave his precious item there. For the first week, Leo felt very uncomfortable without his watch. He constantly looked at his empty wrist to check the time. He felt like he was losing control of his busy schedule. He decided to visit the shop to check the progress. He hoped the old man had finished the work earlier than promised. When he arrived, the clockmaker was looking through a magnifying glass. He was slowly cleaning a tiny golden wheel. Leo stood there and watched the man work with incredible focus. The shop was so quiet that Leo could hear his own breathing. He forgot to ask his angry questions and just observed the peaceful scene. Leo started visiting the shop every week during his lunch break. He did not complain about the time anymore. He realized that watching the old man was very relaxing. The clockmaker treated every tiny piece of metal with deep respect. He never looked at his phone or worried about the world outside his dusty window. One afternoon, Leo asked the man how he could be so patient. The clockmaker smiled and wiped his hands on a cloth. He explained that clocks measure time, but they do not create it. He said that modern people are slaves to their schedules. They run fast, but they often miss the beautiful details along the way. The old man picked up a tiny gear and showed it to Leo. He said that perfection cannot happen in a hurry. Every part needs exactly the right amount of attention to function properly. If you rush the process, the machine will eventually break again. Leo thought about his own stressful life and his recent health problems. Leo realized that he was treating his body like a cheap machine. He forced himself to work fast without resting or enjoying the process. The clockmaker taught him that quality requires patience and deep focus. Leo walked out of the shop that day with a new perspective. He decided to slow down his pace of life. Exactly 1 month later, Leo returned to the small, quiet shop. The clockmaker gently handed him the watch in a nice wooden box. The glass was shining, and the golden metal looked brand new. Leo listened closely and heard a strong, steady ticking sound. It sounded like a healthy heartbeat returning to a completely sick body. Leo was incredibly amazed by the excellent craftsmanship. He asked the old man how much money he owed for this perfect job. The kind man named a very reasonable price that surprised Leo. Leo tried to pay extra money to show his deep gratitude. The clockmaker shook his head and refused the extra cash once again. He said that doing a good job was its own reward. He wanted the watch to bring joy to Leo for many years. He advised Leo to wear the watch, but not to let it control him. Time is a tool to measure our lives, and not a boss to chase us. Leo nodded in agreement. Leo put the classic watch on his wrist and felt a strange calm. He looked at the second hand moving steadily around the beautiful dial. It was not rushing and it was not delaying. It moved with perfect intention and gentle grace. Leo thanked the old man warmly and walked out into the busy city streets. The city was exactly the same, but Leo was different. He did not run to catch the subway like he usually did. He walked at a comfortable pace and noticed the blue sky above. He stopped to buy a coffee and actually tasted the rich flavor. He smiled at the barista instead of looking at his phone. At work, Leo applied the wise lesson of the old clockmaker. He stopped multitasking and focused on one single task at a time. He worked carefully and gave his full attention to the details. His stress levels dropped and the quality of his work improved greatly. His manager praised him for his sudden, excellent performance. He realized that time is not an enemy to defeat. It is a quiet river that flows endlessly. We can choose to swim desperately against the strong current, or we can float peacefully with it. The old broken watch was a blessing in disguise. It taught him how to truly live instead of just surviving. Whenever Leo feels rushed, he looks at the watch from his grandfather. He listens to the calm ticking and takes a deep breath. He remembers the dusty shop and the silver hair of the master. He smiles and slows his steps down. True happiness grows slowly and requires all the patience we can possibly give it.
Part 2. The Power of Small Habits.
We often set massive goals for the new year, like losing weight. We want to lose 10 kilograms or write a best-selling book immediately. We believe that huge success requires huge action from the very beginning. Therefore, we push ourselves hard for a few weeks until we burn out completely. This cycle of excitement and failure happens to many people repeatedly. The problem is not our lack of talent or capability at all. The problem lies in our strategy and high expectations. We rely too much on motivation, which is a temporary emotion. Motivation is like the weather because it changes constantly and is unreliable. We cannot build a consistent life on something as unstable as our daily feelings. Real change comes from the compound effect of tiny decisions. Imagine if you improve by just 1% every single day. The change is invisible in the beginning, and no one notices it. However, after 1 year, you will be 37 times better. This is the magic of mathematics, applied to our daily habits and personal growth. We should stop focusing on the destination and focus on the system. If you want to win a championship, do not look at the trophy. Look at your training schedule and your diet plan instead. Winners and losers actually have the same goals. The difference is that winners focus on the small daily steps that lead to victory. When we start a new habit, we expect linear progress immediately. We think that if we go to the gym for a week, we should see muscles. When we do not see results, we feel discouraged and want to quit. This period is called the Valley of Disappointment. It is the place where most people give up on their dreams. Think about an ice cube sitting in a cold room. If you heat the room from 25 to 30 degrees, nothing happens. The ice cube is still solid and looks exactly the same. However, at 32 degrees, it begins to melt into water. The work was happening all along, but the result only showed at the tipping point. Bamboo trees are another perfect example of this hidden progress. For the first 5 years, the bamboo does not grow above the ground. It builds a strong root system deep underground to support its weight. Then in the 6th year, it shoots up 30 meters in 6 weeks. People only see the 6 weeks and not the 5 years. Therefore, if you are working hard but seeing no results, do not worry. Your effort is not wasted, it is just being stored. You are building potential energy that will be released later. Trust the process and keep showing up every day. The breakthrough will come when you least expect it, and it will surprise everyone around you. The deepest layer of behavior change is changing your identity. Many people try to change their habits by focusing on what they want. They say, I want to run a marathon, or I want to stop smoking. This is outcome-based thinking. It is hard to stick to a habit if it conflicts with how you view yourself inside. Instead of focusing on what you want to achieve, focus on who you want to become. Do not say, I want to read a book. Say, I am a reader. Do not say, I want to play piano. Say, I am a musician. When you take pride in a new identity, you will fight to protect it. Every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. If you make your bed every morning, you vote for being organized. If you write 1 page, you vote for being a writer. No single vote will win the election. However, over time, the votes accumulate and you win the election of your new identity. This method is powerful because it builds self-confidence gradually. You do not need to be perfect to change your identity. You just need to have the majority of votes. Once you believe you are a healthy person, you will naturally choose salad over pizza. You act according to your beliefs without needing to force yourself or use willpower. Motivation is overrated, but environment matters more than we think. If you want to play the guitar more often, put it in the living room. If you keep it hidden in the closet, you will never play it. Visual cues are the biggest catalyst for our habits. We often choose products not because they are the best, but because they are visible. You can also use this principle to break bad habits effectively. If you want to eat less sugar, hide the cookies on the top shelf. If you want to stop checking social media, leave your phone in another room. Make the bad habit invisible and difficult to do. You are the architect of your own world, so design it wisely. Reduce the friction between you and your good habits. If you want to run in the morning, lay out your clothes the night before. This removes one step and makes it easier to get started. Human nature is lazy, and we always follow the path of least resistance. Make the right thing the easiest thing to do. Surround yourself with people who have the habits you want. If your friends eat fast food every day, you will likely do the same. If your friends go hiking, you will likely join them. Social pressure can be a positive force if you choose the right tribe. We unconsciously imitate the habits of those around us to feel accepted. The greatest threat to success is not failure, but boredom. We get bored with habits because they stop delighting us. The routine becomes repetitive and we lose interest. we start looking for something new and exciting. However, the people who succeed are the ones who can handle the boredom. They show up even when the work is not fun. Never miss a habit twice, because that is the start of a new bad habit. If you miss one day of exercise because you are sick, that is fine. However, you must get back on track immediately the next day. One mistake does not ruin you, but a spiral of repeated mistakes will. Recovery is more important than perfection. You do not need to be a superhero to change your life. You just need to be consistent with small actions. A river cuts through rock not because of its power, but because of its persistence. Be like the water and keep flowing. Do not underestimate the power of showing up for 2 minutes every day. Start your journey today with one tiny habit. Do not wait for the perfect time, because it will never arrive. Read one page, or do one push-up, or write one sentence. These small seeds will eventually grow into a forest of success. Remember that a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step.
Part 3. The Mysteries of Sleep and Dreams.
We spend approximately 1/3 of our lives asleep. Many people view sleep as a waste of valuable time. They think they could work or play more if they did not need to sleep. However, sleep is not just a passive state of rest. It is a highly active process that is essential for our physical and mental survival. During the day, our brains accumulate toxic waste products from intense thinking. When we fall asleep, the brain activates a cleaning system. It flushes out these toxins to prevent damage to our cells. Without this nightly cleaning process, our cognitive functions decline rapidly. We become forgetful and unable to solve simple problems. Sleep also plays a critical role in memory consolidation. When we learn something new, the information is initially fragile. During deep sleep, the brain moves these memories to a permanent storage area. This is why students who sleep well often perform better on exams than those who study all night. Rest is actually part of the learning process. Lack of sleep can lead to serious health consequences over time. It weakens our immune system and makes us susceptible to illnesses. It also disrupts the hormones that control our appetite. This explains why tired people often crave unhealthy, sugary foods. Treating sleep with respect is the first step toward a healthy lifestyle. Sleep is not a uniform block of time, but a series of cycles. We cycle through different stages every 90 minutes. The first stage is light sleep, where we drift in and out of consciousness. Our muscles relax and our heart rate begins to slow down. This is the transition zone between the waking world and the dream world. The most fascinating stage is called rapid eye movement, or REM sleep. During this phase, our eyes move back and forth quickly behind closed lids. Our brain activity increases to levels similar to when we are awake. This is the stage where the most vivid and bizarre dreams occur. It is often called the paradox of sleep. Interestingly, our voluntary muscles become paralyzed during REM sleep. This paralysis is a safety mechanism created by evolution. It prevents us from acting out our dreams physically. Without this protection, we might run into walls or hurt ourselves while dreaming about playing sports. The body remains still while the mind goes on wild adventures. Deep sleep is the stage responsible for physical restoration. In this phase, the body releases growth hormones to repair tissues. It is very difficult to wake someone up from deep sleep. If you are forced to wake up, you will feel groggy and confused. This stage is crucial for athletes and anyone recovering from injury. Humans have been fascinated by dreams for thousands of years. Ancient civilizations believed that dreams were messages from the gods. They thought dreams could predict the future or warn about danger. Kings and queens often consulted interpreters to understand the meaning of their nightly visions. They treated dreams as serious sources of divine knowledge. Modern psychologists offer a different explanation for why we dream. They suggest that dreaming is a form of emotional therapy. During the day, we experience stress and strong emotions. Dreaming allows the brain to process these feelings in a safe environment. It takes the emotional edge off painful memories so we can cope better. Some dreams are universal and experienced by people across all cultures. Being chased by a monster is a very common nightmare. Falling from a great height is another frequent theme. These dreams likely stem from our primal fears of predators and danger. Even in the modern world, our brains still hold on to these ancient survival instincts. Lucid dreaming is a rare skill where the dreamer becomes aware they are dreaming. In a lucid dream, you can control the narrative. You can choose to fly like a bird or breathe underwater. Some people practice techniques to induce this state. It allows them to explore their subconscious mind with full awareness and freedom. Sleep paralysis is a terrifying phenomenon that happens to many people. You wake up, but you cannot move a single muscle. You might hallucinate and see a dark figure in the room. This happens when your mind wakes up before your body paralysis wears off. It is harmless, but it feels incredibly real and frightening. Insomnia is the most common sleep disorder in the modern world. People with insomnia struggle to fall asleep or stay asleep. They lie in bed for hours watching the clock tick. This condition creates a vicious cycle of anxiety. The more you worry about not sleeping, the harder it becomes to fall asleep. Sleepwalking is another strange disorder that usually affects children. A sleepwalker can walk around the house while fast asleep. Some people even cook meals or drive cars without waking up. Their eyes are open, but their brain is asleep. It's generally unsafe to wake them abruptly, so guiding them back to bed is better. Technological devices are the biggest enemies of good sleep today. The blue light from screens tricks our brain into thinking it is daytime. This suppresses the production of melatonin, which is the sleep hormone. We scroll through social media in bed and destroy our sleep quality. We need to disconnect to reconnect with our dreams. We often boast about how little sleep we get. We wear our exhaustion like a badge of honor. This cultural attitude needs to change immediately. Sleeping is not a sign of laziness or weakness. It is a biological necessity for high performance. The most successful people are often those who prioritize their recovery time. Creating a sleep routine is the best investment you can make. Try to go to bed at the same time every night. Keep your bedroom cool and dark like a cave. Avoid caffeine and heavy meals before bedtime. These small adjustments can have a massive impact on your energy levels the next day. Listen to your body when it asks for rest. Do not fight the heavy eyelids or drink another energy drink. Surrender to the need for sleep and let your body heal. You will wake up feeling refreshed and ready to conquer your goals. A well-rested mind is a sharp tool that can handle any challenge. Sleep is the mysterious bridge between our days. It is a time for magic and healing and adventure. When we close our eyes, we enter a private world that belongs only to us. Cherish this time and protect it fiercely. Good sleep is the foundation of a happy and healthy life.
Part 4. Happiness from Minimalism.
We live in a society that encourages us to buy more things constantly Advertisements tell us that happiness comes from owning the latest phone or the biggest car. We work hard to earn money so we can fill our houses with objects. However, we often feel more stressed than happy. Our possessions end up possessing us instead of serving us. Look around your room right now and count the things you actually use. You will likely find that you only use a small fraction of your belongings. The rest are just gathering dust and taking up valuable space. We keep old clothes that do not fit and broken gadgets we never fix. This physical clutter creates mental clutter in our minds. The more things we own, the more time we spend managing them. We have to clean and organize and repair and protect all our stuff. This takes away time from things that truly matter, like family and hobbies. We become janitors of our own personal museums. We are trapped in a cycle of consumption that never leads to satisfaction. Minimalism is the counter-movement to this culture of excess. It is not about living with nothing or being poor. It is about intentionally promoting the things we most value and removing everything that distracts us. It is the art of knowing how much is enough. It asks the question, does this item add value to my life or just wait? The first immediate benefit of minimalism is financial freedom. When you stop buying things you do not need, you save a lot of money. You can use this money to pay off debts or invest in your future. You stop trying to impress people who do not care about you. Your bank account grows and your financial stress decreases significantly. Minimalism also gives you the gift of time and energy. Imagine spending less time cleaning your house because there is less stuff to clean. Imagine spending less time looking for lost items because everything has a place. You reclaim hours of your life every week. You can spend this extra time reading books or exercising or playing with your children. Living with less creates a peaceful and calming environment at home. A clean and open space allows your mind to relax and breathe. There are fewer visual distractions to grab your attention. It feels like a sanctuary where you can truly rest after a busy day. Your home becomes a source of energy rather than a source of stress. Perhaps the most important benefit is increased gratitude. When you have fewer things, you treasure them more. You take better care of your favorite shirt because it is one of the few you own. You appreciate the objects that serve a real purpose in your life. Gratitude turns what we have into enough, and that is the definition of abundance. Start your journey by decluttering one small area first. Do not try to clean the whole house in one day, or you will feel overwhelmed. Start with a single drawer or a single shelf. Take everything out and look at each item individually. Ask yourself if you have used it in the last year. If the answer is no, let it go. The closet is usually the hardest place for people to declutter. We hold on to clothes that do not fit, hoping we will lose weight. We keep expensive dresses we only wore once out of guilt. Be honest with yourself about what you actually wear. Keep only the pieces that make you feel confident and comfortable right now in the present. Sentimental items are the most difficult category to deal with. We feel like we are throwing away memories when we discard old letters or gifts. However, memories exist inside us and not in physical objects. You can take a photo of the item to keep the memory and then donate the object. This way, you keep the feeling without the clutter. Digital minimalism is also a crucial part of this lifestyle. Our phones and computers are often more cluttered than our homes. Delete apps you never use and unsubscribe from email lists that annoy you. Organize your desktop files into clear folders. Cleaning your digital space will clear your mind and make you more productive when you sit down to work. Minimalism requires a shift in mindset from quantity to quality. Instead of buying 5 cheap shirts that break easily, buy one high-quality shirt that lasts for years. It might cost more upfront, but it saves money in the long run. You learn to value craftsmanship and durability over fast fashion trends. You become a curator of your life, not a consumer. We must learn to detach our happiness from material acquisition. The thrill of buying something new only lasts for a few days. Then the excitement fades, and we want to buy something else. This is called the hedonic treadmill. Minimalism helps us step off this treadmill and find joy in experiences rather than things. Focus on experiences that create lasting memories instead of temporary pleasure. Spend your money on travel or learning a new skill or dining with friends. Experiences become a part of our identity in a way that objects never can. No one can steal your memories or break them. They appreciate in value as you get older. Minimalism teaches us to be content with what we have. Comparison is the thief of joy. When we stop comparing our possessions with others, we feel free. We realize that we already have everything we need to be happy. True wealth is not having many things, but having few wants. This realization brings a deep sense of peace. Minimalism is a personal journey, and it looks different for everyone. There is no rule that says you must own less than 100 items. It is about finding the right balance for your own life. It is about making room for what is important by removing what is not. You define what is essential for your own happiness. Start small and go slow because habits take time to change. Do not judge yourself if you find it hard to let go of things. It is an emotional process as much as a physical one. Celebrate the small victories like a clean desk or an empty closet. Every item you remove is a step towards a lighter life. As you clear the physical clutter, you will find that your mind clears too. You will have more mental space to think about your dreams and goals. You will have more energy to pursue your passions. You will stop living on autopilot and start living with intention. This clarity is the greatest gift of a minimalist lifestyle. Ultimately, minimalism is not about the things you remove. It is about the life you add. By removing the distraction of excess stuff, you add more meaning and connection and freedom. You discover that the best things in life are not things at all. You discover that less truly is more.